Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. Going down this weekend, there is a card on DAZN which is being held in the UK at the O2 Arena, and in all honesty, the card itself is an abomination. Of course, originally it was supposed to be headlined by Dillian Whyte versus Otto Wallin. We know what happened there. Dillian Whyte pulled out, and we are left with the remainder of what was on the undercard. And looking at the undercard, there's nothing there that really interests me whatsoever. The only exception being Alen Babic versus Eric Molina. So I thought, why not make a quick preview for this fight? You know, it's getting desperate when you're making previews for Molina versus Babic. But nevertheless, here we are. This is where we find ourselves on this channel. But yeah, all in all, I do have some sort of intrigue for this fight. Now, I'm not saying it's a barn burner, I'm not saying it's a 50-50, but it is a fight I do have some intrigue in. Yes, I would imagine Alen Babic wins this fight, and more than likely wins it relatively comfortably. But when you look at Alen Babic's record of 8-0, you would certainly say Eric Molina is the best opponent he fought. I mean, last time out he fought Mark Bennett. Before that it was Damian Chambers, before that it was Tom Little, Niall Kennedy, Shawndell Terrell Winters. I would certainly argue that even now Eric Molina is a notch above those guys. And let's be honest, in Alen Babic's last fight, he fought an area level guy who couldn't punch. And in that fight, Alen Babic was given a fight. He was caught by several shots. There were rounds where he looked winded. And all in all, that fight exposed a lot of flaws in Alen Babic's game. So right now, we know there are area level guys who can be competitive with Alen Babic. What does that say for the level of Alen Babic? What level is he? I don't believe his level is high whatsoever. You know, I've heard some people say that Alen Babic is a European level heavyweight. I mean, I've got no idea what these guys are smoking, quite frankly, but Eric Molina definitely represents a step up for Alen Babic. You know, Eric Molina is a relatively big guy. He's 6'6" with a 79-inch reach. He has 20 knockouts in 28 fights. He has fought for the heavyweight title on a couple of occasions. And all in all, he's fought much higher level of competition in comparison to Alen Babic. So Eric Molina going into this fight does have some plus points. He has had more fights. He does have more size. He does have more experience. And in terms of single punch punching power, I would say Eric Molina is the bigger puncher in this fight, and definitely the biggest puncher Alen Babic has ever fought. And going on Alen Babic's previous performances, this guy can get touched up. We saw that against Mark Bennett, like I said, a guy who can't punch. We saw that against Damian Chambers, even Tom Little to a lesser extent. Alen Babic is a very small heavyweight. He's like 6'1", barely over 200 pounds. He comes forwards, throwing overhands and hooks. That's basically all he does. Comes forwards in straight lines, very little head movement, very little defense. He's crash bang wallop. And one thing about Molina, he is a little sneaky. He can time you with his overhand right, and he does have a sneaky left hook as well. If Alen Babic walks face first onto one of those shots, could Eric Molina knock out Alen Babic? Does he have the power? I believe so. You know, I do believe Eric Molina hits relatively hard at a certain level in the heavyweight division, and I believe he does hit hard enough to at least hurt Alen Babic and maybe even knock him out. If this was Eric Molina from just after the Deontay Wilder fight, I would confidently pick him to knock out Alen Babic. But as we know these days, Eric Molina has fully gone into journeyman mode and basically likes to look for a soft spot on the canvas to lay down when it gets a bit too much for him. So more than likely we're going to get that Molina again. But if Molina is serious and he comes to fight, I believe this is a very dangerous fight for Alen Babic, especially somebody as small and crude as Alen Babic. This could actually be a fun little fight. The only negative for me is that it's only an 8-rounder. I would have liked to have seen this as a 10-rounder. More than likely it won't go that far, but still, I would have liked to have seen that scheduled to be 10 rounds. But all in all, I mean, Who am I picking in this fight? Of course, given where both guys are at right now, I will pick Alen Babic. But would I be surprised if Alen Babic gets exposed in this fight? Absolutely not. For me, the guy is a knockout waiting to happen. Is Eric Molina the guy to do it? Who knows, but he definitely has the power. So we'll see what happens in this fight. Quite frankly, somebody needs to have a word with Alen Babic. As far as I'm concerned, he needs to be competing in the cruiserweight division, maybe even the new bridgerweight division, quite frankly, because a couple of fights ago, well, only 3 fights ago, Alen Babic weighed as low as 199 pounds and 1/4, and after that he's been coming in at around 210 pounds, 209 pounds. So Alen Babic is very small, 6'1", not very heavy, short arms. For me, the guy needs to be competing in the cruiserweight division. Maybe in those lower divisions he can make a bit more of his marauding, aggressive style. Maybe he could smother some cruiserweights, but even at cruiserweight, man, for me, Alen Babic is he's so primitive in his approach. I believe he would get exposed real quick, but maybe he could go further in the cruiserweight division. Who knows? But I'm somewhat looking forward to this fight. It's certainly better than Alen Babic's original fight, which was Lucas Browne. That was a terrible fight. Eric Molina, I mean, he's not great, especially now, but, I think he's got more in the tank than Lucas Browne, so I will actually watch this fight, believe it or not, but pretty much this is the only fight I'm going to watch on that card. Anyway, share your thoughts below. It's been your guy Delboy. Peace.